Hey guys, welcome to Crazy Burger. So today we're going to be looking at the SF900, which is basically a game stick here. I know the controller's the focal point of the actual box, but it's actually a game stick, and there's two controllers in the box. Let's get it unpackaged, let's have a look at it, let's see what it's like. Okay guys, so let's have a look at the SF900. It's basically a game stick. It says here there's 5,000 games included within it, and there's two wireless controllers. Pretty straightforward. It's certainly one of those ones that's flooding the market these days. These game sticks are all over the place on AliExpress or Amazon. I picked this one up from Amazon, which was about 25 quid. If you are interested in buying it, I'll leave the link in the description. It does seem to come complete with a memory card included with the ROMs already on. So we'll have a look at it, we'll open up the box and we'll have an unboxing before we play through some of the games that is included within. So let's open up the box and see what's inside. Should be a couple of controllers and a game stick, I believe. Yep, two controllers, kind of Snes like controllers. Let's have a quick look at them before we look at it. So this is your wireless controllers. Unusual to actually see wireless devices with these game sticks, but that's pretty cool. It does actually feel really nice. Kind of pretty cheap, pretty light, nothing particularly amazing about it. Guess that's a player 1, player 2 switch at the bottom there. Start and select there, kind of a soft and rubbery. The buttons actually seem alright. It seems absolutely fine, and I guess it takes a battery inside here. Yeah, it takes a AAA battery 1, which is pretty cool. That's not really a lot. These batteries usually last for quite some time. So yeah, so we've got two of them. It comes complete with your let's look at a micro USB or mini HDMI. I can't remember what they call these things, but yeah, this is basically your charge cable for the device. Pretty sure, like most of these, you actually have to have this plugged in to be able to play it, and this is your actual game stick. There's a memory card already included within it. Let's see, it's just a basic memory card, the usual, probably not the most amazing or reliable, and this will probably be some kind of sound, or no, it's probably some air or some vent to make sure it doesn't overheat. This will be the charge cable, or you need to actually have that plugged in to power the unit itself. Take this off and you have your stick. Now sometimes these are a bit awkward to actually fit into the back of your TV. It really depends how your TV is designed. So this one doesn't actually come complete with any sort of adapter. So you probably have to bear that in mind when if you're thinking of buying one of these things. Will it fit into the back of your TV or monitor going by this style? Unless you really need to get some kind of adapter to fit it if it is an awkward angle. Anyway guys, let's have a look at this plugged in and we'll see what it's all about. Oh, almost forgot, there is a little bit of paper in the inside with some instructions, really useless, telling you how to play it. Yeah, it's absolutely pointless. Yep, doesn't really tell you an awful lot. Okay guys, before we get stuck into any games, we'll have a look through the categories here and what is actually involved. So we've kind of broke it down into sort of categories, as you can see here. We've got into sports, shooting, adventure, fighting, puzzle, and FC games, which seems to be basically just a big data dump of NES and SNES games in there. I think it's basically every game that's on this device. I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, the controls are pretty basic. The D-pad seems a little bit iffy. It's not the most functional, but it's okay. Maybe a little tiny bit of lag here and there. But yeah, we'll look at the categories and the games within them. So you press start to actually go into the categories, and you press select to go back. and that's really it. And then you can scroll through all the games that are there. There's a few hundred, and they all look like SNES games to me. So the categories that have been broke down here are all SNES games, as far as I could tell, which I guess makes sense considering the design of the sort of joypad thing is actually a SNES style. But there's tons and tons of games. Now it's pretty painful. There's no search function to go through here, so if you want to find your favourite game, you're going to have to just find it by scrolling down, either by going down normally, or you can press left or right. It goes in sort of increments of 10, which is obviously a little bit quicker. So that's the quickest way of doing it. There's no search function, there's no quick way of getting there. That's basically it. And there's quite a lot of games here. I mean, there's tons of games that you'll probably recognise throughout the SNES sort of life. There's tons and tons. There's F-Zero, which is kind of cool. If you press select, we go back to the main screen, and then we can go into shooting, which I guess is another kind of category. There's tons and tons of games in there, but yeah, you'll recognise some of them. Some of them have screenshots, some don't. So if we go to adventure, you see there's probably a few recognisable sort of games within here. Also, there's Earthbomb Germ as well. That's obviously quite recognisable. There's tons. Gods. That's really more like an Amiga game, which was got a version on SNES, I guess. But yeah, interesting sort of way it's been laid out here. I'm not really sure it's that helpful, to be honest. There's loads of fighting games. You get Street Fighter. That's there, and it seems pretty good. The emulation seems okay. What I've played so far, nothing spectacular. It just seems pretty good, pretty reasonable. I just feel that the D-pad's maybe not ideal, especially for playing games such as Street Fighter. If you want to pull off those moves, the sort of diagonals really weren't the greatest. It just wasn't really working very well for me. I just think the design just doesn't help much at all there. But yeah, there's tons of games. If we just go down to puzzle now, you see there's like a couple hundred in each of these sort of layouts. But I'm pretty sure all the games are dumped into the one folder at the end here, which is basically a mixture of NES and SNES games. So this is basically turned out to be a little bit of a Nintendo illegal unit, so to speak, but that's what it is, I guess. So there's lots of Super Mario games, Super Mario Kart World, etc. There's different variations as well, which kind of obviously ups the game count a lot. The overall game count here says 4,000. I'm not sure if every SNES game is dumped into this folder as well. Hard to say. I can't really make head nor tail of it. But yeah, there's a lot of repetition as you go through the sort of file here. There's like Japan versions, USA versions, Europe versions, so it certainly gets a little bit repetitive. But you'll probably recognise a lot of these games if you were into your SNES back in the day. It does seem like pretty much most SNES games that were ever released. I'm not sure how many was released. Certainly was a few thousand, but not sure every single game will be here. But it does seem like most of them to me. Anyway, guys, we'll pick a game. I'll show you some of the options that you've got, like saves and loads, so to speak. But it's very basic. It's really just a pick up and play device. If that's what you're looking for, it's probably ideal. And there's thousands of Nintendo, SNES and NES games here, and they all play reasonably well. The emulation's alright, which we'll go through. Yeah, let's pick a game and we'll maybe show you the load and save function that you can get in the game. So press start to start your game. Pretty straightforward. To come back out again, you press start and select, and it will bring up another screen, which I'll show you in a little minute. But I really just want to cover this game quickly because I really couldn't pull off the sort of moves that you would use in the sort of diagonals for pulling off your special moves. Wasn't really working well for me. I'm not sure if it's the D-pad or it's just me. Hard to say. The emulation seems fine though. I don't see any massive issues. See maybe the odd screen tearing here and there, and a little bit of lag and slow down occasionally. You might get more lag depending if you're playing this on a big TV or what, but yeah, you can see here I'm trying to pull off diagonals. It's a struggle. It really is a struggle to do like a diagonal jump as well. It's not ideal. It just isn't the greatest. This D-pad's a bit stiff. Game seems okay enough. It's obviously this is a kind of the slower version of the Street Fighters, but yeah, you probably won't pull off any of those special moves without a struggle. I'm trying. At least the shoulder buttons do work though. That's quite cool. Anyway, so if you press start and select, it brings up this sort of screen, and this is all the options you'll ever see in this device. So you've got the option you can press to save. You just really press the start button and it will save a little screen there for you. Then you can just really load that in. If you want to come back to your previous save, that's basically it. Very simple. And there's an option here to go full screen, which I don't think you're going to ever do that in any of these games. So, and that's what it was actually defaulted to when I first played, which is really odd. It's totally stretched, doesn't suit any of these games whatsoever. So it has to be the scaling up option, which is obviously much better. Using the full screen is just a little bit brutal. You've got the option there to change between NTSC and PAL versions, depending, I guess, what version you're playing. I just left this to automatic. Not really sure whether you should change that or not. I don't know. I've just left it as it was. It seemed fine to me. And that's it. That's basically all you've got. If you want to go back to the main screen, you just press the quit button and it'll go back to this main screen here. Anyway guys, what I'm going to do now is handpick a few games and go through it, and I'll give you my overall thoughts at the end.
2, fight! Superb! Superb! Finish it! Jax wins.
Okay guys, so that's our look at the SF900, which is basically a little bit like a Snes, NES sort of game stick that you can play all your favourite games. Is it better than a NES Mini or a SNES Mini? Now, probably not. The emulation is certainly better on those devices and they look a lot better, but there are a lot more games to choose from this device, that is for sure, and it certainly gives better value for money. Consider it's only £25 or less on Amazon. It's a no-brainer, especially if you're got a present coming up maybe for Christmas for like a casual game player that likes this kind of thing. It's probably the perfect thing to give them. But yeah, there's obviously a few imperfections here and there. Like you seen Star Fox, the emulation was pretty bad. That game did use the SFX chip, if I recall correctly, and it definitely struggles in a lot of emulators out there anyway, but on this it's practically a little bit unplayable, to be honest. But overall the gameplay was fine. I didn't have any massive issues. The D-pad is not perfect for some of these games, but for £25 this isn't bad at all. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Catch you again in the next one. Bye for now.